Hello again, another special edition of Litter Media Live. I'm your host, Mike Smith. Joining us, Director Melanie Swisher and Assistant Director of the Paint Valley ADAMH Board, talking about some new programs that they have to try to get rid of the stigma of dealing with mental health. Brought to you today by Rathkamp Financial, back with Melanie and Kelly right after this.
At Rathkamp Financial, we offer customized investment solutions and superior client service. We believe in long-term relationships and working to earn your continued trust. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
Back with Melanie Swisher, Kelly Dennis. Welcome. Good to have you guys with us.
Thanks for having us.
We just put out a story on our website, littermedia.com, yesterday afternoon, the press release you had about this campaign. You want to give us a little bit of a description as to what it's about.
Yeah, so we are so excited for this anti-stigma recovery campaign. So what we have found is to really impact stigma, the people who need to lead that need to be the people with lived experience. So we're just trying to help elevate the voices. We have people in recovery all around us. They're doing great things in our community, and we're trying to join forces with them and just let everybody know that recovery is possible for mental illness or substance use disorder. We have so if you see our billboards, we have one in each county. The back of the billboard is like faded gray diagnoses, because so often, especially like with substance use disorder or severe mental illness, sometimes the community and sometimes the person themselves, they just feel like they're labeled by that. But we're so much more than our diagnosis. They don't define us. They don't label us. So the people on that billboard are actual people that live here, that are doing great things in our community. And they chose the word on their t-shirts. So you'll see resilient. You'll see a PhD. You'll see a social worker. I mean, in every facet of life, there's people living successfully in recovery.
Yeah, I like the title, which we'll be showing on our daily program here a little bit later today, We Recover, and that's a fact. I mean, if you look at some of the great historical figures,
absolutely,
they struggled with this when maybe they didn't even understand why.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter how rich you are, how poor you are, how educated you are. It's just like physical illness, you know? Mm-hmm. We all have things that we struggle with, but we recover and we overcome.
Kelly, I know that you've got 5 counties that Paint Valley ADAMH serves. So are there different things that you're doing as far as get out the word campaigns in each of the counties, or is it pretty much the same?
A lot of our campaigns are the same across the 5 counties, but we were going to have different components. We have the billboard campaigns. We're doing stuff like this. Mm-hmm. We'll have some social media outreach that we do. And then we're also going to be doing some public campaigns where we're going to go out and speak with people and get feedback and let them know, the importance of trying to reduce stigma within their communities.
Now, is this a campaign that's being done nationally, Melanie, or is that something unique to this local ADAMH?
This particular campaign is unique to us. I mean, I'm sure there's things like this happening nationally, but we kind of just put our heads together and came up with this. And we really want anybody in the community, if they're in recovery from mental illness or substance use, reach out to us. We'd love to have you be a part of this campaign.
Yeah. How long do you see this campaign going? I mean, it's something that we need to continue to put out there, but when you talk about a campaign, it's usually got a time end and a start time.
Oh man. So, we're putting on the front end, we're doing the billboards, we're doing videos. But I hope it's something that takes off and that you see this grassroots effort of people sharing their stories, because that's really what brings the change is when people just share with another person and they're able to make that human connection.
So you see the individuals who might step up, what platform would they have? Just like in their workplace, among their peers? Or is there a public platform for them? Those are great places. I think we're going to try to organize some town halls where folks can come and share their story. We do a recovery celebration banquet every year. So September 10th, I believe, is going to be the recovery celebration for this year. And we're going to kind of really have this campaign present there. And we're going to have some speakers that are local. We usually try to bring in speakers from other areas, but these are just going to be local folks that have just amazing stories. Right. As we have already alluded to, the historical figures that have struggled with some type of a mental issue, mental problems, the stigma even of having that. Why do you think it's taken so long, 2024, for us to be able to acknowledge, you know what? When somebody says you got heart disease, you've got cancer, you don't think anything unusual about that. But when you talk about this, it's kind of like, well, I can't say anything. Why is that?
I mean, it is stigma, and that's why we're trying to come against stigma, because the truth is people recover from chronic severe mental illness the same percentage, about a third, as if you would compare it to like a chronic respiratory disease. Like the recovery is the same, but we don't have judgment on high blood pressure, and not in the same way that we do with mental illness, and it keeps people from seeking treatment. Some research suggests that stigma is as debilitating as actual symptoms. So it is really important. And I think, we want to combat stigma in a way that's going to work. And really what we're finding out is it's people with lived experience. They are going to be our leaders. They're going to bring about permanent change.
Right. And I've shared my story on the radio years ago on this program. I got laid off from the radio station after 38 years in 2016. Tore my leg up fell off a treadmill at a local gym. Was basically learned all about what cabin fever for 14 weeks because I couldn't go anywhere. And I started having anxiety attacks. I'd never had that in my life. And it was like, what in the world is going on? And I told the Lord, I'll be the poster child for this. That's awesome. If you heal me of this. And it took medication and got me through that. I've not had any issues with that since. You recognize trigger points that try to get that to jump back in. You just got to say, I know what this is all about. Yeah. But I want people to know that it affects so many people.
And you sharing that story does more than me. I could spout off all the research, but that story, people see you, they respect you, they recognize you, and they're like, wow, okay, maybe I can go. Maybe it's not so shameful if I go and get help. So thank you.
Well, and I think, of course, I put the Lord in first place and all of that. And I've shared this story. I think in a lot of ways, the people that I've been able to mentor as a volunteer over the last several years, I think the Lord needed me to see what they're going through, because I can't tell you over the last several years how many people I've talked to that talk about anxiety, depression, and it's like, frankly, before I had that experience, I'd have said, it's all in your head, get over it. Yeah. But when you live it, boy, is it a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, and there's people listening. There's that are living it. And so, you're empowering them to get help. Thank you so much.
Right. What else did you want to cover today in our visit?
Well, I just go back to what you were just talking about. I think that's where stigma comes in and it's not everyone's going to be feeling comfortable going to get help because of stigma. That's kind of what we see. And there's different levels of it that we see as well. So, kind of our role with the ADAMH board is we're really trying to reduce stigma in our communities. We do that through like we're doing this campaign, but also policies and planning. That's a lot of stuff that we do to try to change the structure, change the environment to where hopefully down the road that stigma is reduced and more people can get the treatment that they need and feel comfortable getting the treatment that they need and not being felt like they're being looked down upon.
Right. Yeah. Now, Paint Valley ADAMH has been around for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
But for someone that's experiencing this type of issue for the first time, they may not know what you do. Are you the facilitator that can point them in the direction they need to get help? How does that work?
Yeah, so we don't provide direct services, but we help make sure that there's that continuum of care in place in our community. So we contract with folks like Side of Paint Valley Mental Health, Recovery Council, Integrated Services, Pickaway Area Recovery Services, Big Brothers Big Sisters, and NAMI, and then they provide the services. So if somebody is experiencing a mental health crisis or a substance use crisis, you can call 988. You could go to any of those agencies that I just listed. There's other agencies that we don't contract with, but they're still providing the services. You can call us and we can help get you connected too.
Yeah, I know we've had a lot of stories in recent years about our military veterans and the issues that they've had, suicide. The numbers are staggering. These men and women are coming back from military service and continuing to struggle with different issues. so it's not just those who have been in maybe, a combat. There's all kind of trauma.
Absolutely.
We call PTSD. Yeah. A lot of those folks have been in, combat situations, but there's a lot of different kinds of trauma that you can have as a civilian, that those problems are just as real.
Yeah. And you don't have to earn your anxiety, so to speak. You don't have to say, well, my trauma wasn't as bad as them, so I shouldn't be feeling this way. If you are feeling like you need some mental health support, reach out for it. Don't give up hope. Don't feel like, oh, well, it wasn't bad enough, so I'm not going to reach out. Reach out and get help. All right. Anything else? If anybody wants to be part of this campaign, you could email contact us at pvpaintvalley, PVADAMH.org, or you can give us a call, 740-773-2283. All right. Melanie Swisher, also Kelly Dennis of the Paint Valley ADAMH Board, our special edition guest on Litter Media Live today, brought to you by Rathkamp Financial. I'm Mike Smith.